Welcome. I'm Liz Taylor, ocean explorer, naturalist, and entrepreneur.
I'm Sylvia Earle. I'm a National Geographic explorer, founder of Mission Blue, and I'm an ocean elder. Thank you, ocean elders, for sponsoring this program.
Yes, and this is our program, Dive In, where we host informal and open conversations with the ocean community on topics of wonder and interest. We're very glad to be back and hope that everyone has made some time to get outdoors. You can put questions in the Q&A box, and we'll get through to as many of them as possible towards the end of the program. And there may be some links coming through in the Zoom as well. And before we get underway today, we want to remind everyone that the world
Is blue.
blue. So today we have the great honor of talking with Archie Kalepa. Archie is a renowned Hawaiian waterman, master mariner, and a retired safety lifeguard. He served as a captain of the Polynesian voyaging canoe Hōkūle'a, and he is a champion for both traditional wayfinding and environmental stewardship. Welcome, Archie.
Aloha, Liz and Sylvia. I can't tell you what it's such an honor to be in your presence. And so thank you for having me here today. And I'm just very, very grateful and honored. Aloha.
Yeah, thank you.
Wow.
Aloha. So tell us, what does it mean to be a waterman?
You know that what it means to be a waterman is just living your life as part of the sea. You know, the more we connect and be part of the ocean, no matter what it's we're doing, and if we're able to master that craft or that skill in the ocean, it's not something you name yourself. It's something people call you and respect you by. I wouldn't call myself a waterman. I would just say that, I've from my early childhood, I fell in love with the ocean. My Hawaiian name is Aukai, and it means to voyage by the sea.
Hmm.
When you name your child, that name was given to me by my grandfather. They don't just give you a Hawaiian name; they give you a Hawaiian name with meaning.
Correct.
I was fortunate to be amongst that era and be given that name. And ever since that, I've been in love with the ocean. And if I can't be in it, I got to see it every day.
It's in you.
It is. It's in all,
Yes.
isn't it? To some extent. So it's wonderful. And spending your time out on Hōkūle'a, uh,
Mhm.
that's where a lot of those skills, that familiarity with the water, being able to sense what's going on, those all have to be inherently important as part of that job of being captain.
Yeah, it was I'll tell you, as you graduate yourself as an individual from near shore, whether it be snorkeling, whether it be um, surfing, and then you graduate to offshore, and then you graduate to deep sea. And I remember Nainoa telling me that you got to lead, and
Mhm.
with a lot of fear, I said, no, I can't. And just looking at our next generation and how advanced they are, uh, and in my mind, it was about being a leader. I got to be able to speak Hawaiian. I got to be able to do all of these things. And I said, oh, I know I can't do it because I don't speak Hawaiian, and as a leader, you got to be in front of people. And he said, Archie, that's not true. He said, you speak the oldest language of all of Polynesia, and I only know two other people that speaks that language, and that is the language of the sea. And
Mhm.
it clicked, and from that point on, um, I made it a point to be very, very observant, uh, beyond a point of just being, but being in the moment and observing everything about the ocean and the sky during my period on the canoe, because that is the greatest classroom and that reveals Mother Nature in its purest, finest form. And
Mhm.
being on a canoe that has no instruments, what's guiding you is being able to pay attention, understand weather, um, understand the stars, the sun, the moon, the clouds, to keep that canoe safe. And it's just allowed me to grow as a student of the ocean.
Hmm. And I know it mentioned to me one time as well the importance of paying attention to some of the animals.
Mm,
So whether it's the
absolutely.
birds
All of that.
or,
Yep.
it's just the marine
They're
other
the
marine life.
signs. They
Yeah.
bring us home. They bring us home. I mean, just every aspect of being out there is so important to being in touch and in tune with that environment. I mean, from what we see on the water, the seaweed, the types of seaweeds, the birds at sunrise and sunset. I mean, these are all telltales that help guide us. But more importantly is understanding weather, paying attention to weather. And oh man, let me tell you, it has changed.
Hmm.
I was impressed hearing Nainoa speak recently
Mm,
on the voyage from Hawaii to Tahiti,
yes.
yep, just in the last few months, about the birds,
Hmm.
Yeah.
that they were further from shore,
Hmm.
and it was just knowing what is not normal as
Yeah.
well as what is expected. And also encountering a place where it seemed, even though it was nighttime, there was this glow on the horizon.
Yep.
And as
Yep.
they got closer, they found themselves in the midst of
Ships, the fishing. Yep.
the squid fleets.
Oh,
They use bright lights to attract the squid, and then they take them by the ton. And that's bad enough, but the fact that they couldn't see the stars
Yeah.
because of the illumination, it's like being in a city.
the light pollution.
Yeah.
You
And
know, I'll tell you is in I've been sailing on Hōkūle'a for 40 years, and I've sailed to or from Tahiti um going on 6 times here. And I'll tell you, the last two trips to Tahiti and back, it's been it hasn't been something that I'd like to see. Just to that point about the amount of fishing vessels that we saw um in um from Hawaii to Tahiti and Tahiti back to Hawaii. It was really sad. That place is a special place. It's a place for us as Polynesians where we go to gain knowledge. And then when
Right.
you're surrounded by these vessels that are changing the migration patterns of our fishing because of overfishing, which is
Hmm.
causing our birds to go further out to sea, which is, as navigators, we can no longer see the night sky in its most darkest moment. It's
Yeah.
to your point, Sylvia. That's exactly what's happening, and
Yeah.
it's
so the new High Seas Treaty
mhm,
that, that has encouraged nations globally to commit to protecting at least 30% of the high seas, areas beyond where humans have claimed national jurisdiction out
mhm,
200 miles. That's about half the world.
yeah,
And the great majority of that is the Pacific Ocean, the
Yeah.
blue face of the planet.
Yeah.
yeah,
And while there's still time, while there still are squid and
mhm,
tuna and birds and
yeah,
turtles and
yeah,
sharks, we have to change.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely,
30% seems grand, especially since it's only 3% right now.
yeah,
Why are we
yeah,
taking anything at all from a place that nobody truly owns,
yeah,
but a few are taking it upon themselves to exploit on an
mhm,
industrial scale? We're
yep,
changing the planet in a matter of decades,
yep,
not over millennia, but you're
yeah,
the witness.
Absolutely. And also, talking about where it comes ashore right there on Maui, where you
Yeah.
spend so
yep,
much time
yep,
looking at the scope of change that's happened
yep,
just on that island in our lifetimes.
yeah. I'll tell you this is you can't protect what you don't know.
That's
Yeah,
right.
100%.
And being out there and knowing and seeing, um, and then reflecting at my home, Lahaina,
Yes.
the industrialization, the commercialization that's happened to this place we're living outside of our means. And I
Yes.
think that is a global problem is we're living outside of our means and we're adopting these Western ways of thinking that is for profit, that is ultimately um, hurting the ones that can't speak. And the ones that can't speak are fishes, are sharks, are squid, are birds. And so we have to be the ones to be able to speak for them and fight for them and
And for tomorrow's
for
children.
tomorrow, for the next 7 generations.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
And
That-
I'm getting emotional right now, and how important that is because I've been there and I've seen the changes. And I've seen the changes firsthand, not on land, but at sea, where there
Mhm.
is no land visible. And it's we have to stay in the fight because there's a small percentage of us right here that understand this with evidence, with
Yes.
passion, with love that is willing to put everything on the line in terms of sharing what we know to make the world a better place for the next 7 generations and beyond.
So
And
Archie,
we're losing at a rapid pace right now.
Accelerating. Yes.
And it's very scary. And um, I'm raising my hand to be on that team, to
I
be
think we all
part,
are.
yes, to be part of following people like Sylvia and Nainoa.
well, Archie, one of the benefits of being here now
Mhm.
is that new technologies cut both ways, enabling us to find and capture and market ocean wildlife as never before in the history of our species. But
Yeah.
new technologies have given us the knowledge. I mean, we actually can crunch the numbers and see the changes from the way things were to the way things are, and also to anticipate what the future will be if we keep going the way we've been going in recent years, or the potential for changing, for recovery.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, we know what to do. We've got evidence.
Yeah.
We lack, we still don't know as much as we need to know about what's deep in the sea,
Under the canoe.
under the canoe, right? But we've got enough information to know that continued exploitation of the natural systems that make our existence and the existence of all other forms of life make it possible. Now we know it.
Yeah.
We can quantify it. We can we have the evidence.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Well, if we need more evidence, Lahaina is part of that evidence.
it
I
certainly
What
is.
I agree 100%. And we've seen it. I mean, Lahaina used to just be really known so far and wide as a place to kill whales, right? And
Well, I
and
mean, in fairly
was the
recent,
really
beginning of
in the beginning, yeah,
westernized thinking and commercialization, industrialization,
yeah,
should I say, that really began the changes in Hawaii. Um, and now we're stuck with that luggage and we
mhm,
have to find a way to transition back to
yes,
ways that we live within our means, to ways we live within our aupua. Um, and I think if we can grasp that idea and believe in those ideas, um, we gotta start somewhere,
yeah,
and
yeah,
we can start on an island. And
yes,
now Lahaina, our sail plan is a clean slate. We
yeah,
can rewrite that sail plan for tomorrow, for the next 7 generations. And it's important for everybody to believe in the destination that this canoe, that this voyage must partake to help us not solve the problems, but find better solutions for the future moving forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Well,
mean,
you have been a witness, plus
Hmm.
your your heritage, where you
Yeah.
the ethics, your values
mhm.
that that really go far beyond precede the time when Lahaina was historically
Yeah.
a whaling
Hmm.
destination, where the ships would come in to refuel and put on food and then go out and commercial
Yeah.
commercialize the whales. And but you've also seen the change,
Yeah.
and it's happened in your lifetime, in my lifetime. I've seen
Yep.
people who once were killing whales now seeing, just in a straight monetary value, it's more, whales are more valuable alive than dead.
Yeah.
But
100%.
beyond the monetary value, the ethical change. People
Hmm.
see whales as something, yeah, there's, you know, whale watching has become a source of wealth, just as dead whales were a source
Yeah.
of wealth.
100%.
But
You
there's
know,
something more. You see
yeah.
whales as fellow creatures. They
Fellow
have
Earthlings.
civilization. They have
Yeah.
language.
Yeah.
They need our respect.
Yeah.
They need our respect. You know, it's really, I'm really disappointed in our state allowing this much commercialization. And, our whales, they come here to spawn, they come here to find a mate. And it's like, we're intruding in their bedroom.
It really is. They just let's go out and check them out, you know.
And it's really, I mean, you can enjoy their view from a distance. We have places on our islands it's like you're right there, but you don't need to go on a boat to chase them around and
No,
use these
have
tactics of
respect.
getting in
Yeah.
front of them, hopefully that they'll and it's commercialized.
Hmm.
But they're
And it's
curious. They'll,
it's really
Sometimes they come to us.
they'll come to you.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Which is great.
exactly.
Yeah.
They'll come to
Patient.
you if they want to.
Yeah, if they're patient, you take the time.
Yeah. And if they feel your vibe, your mana.
Yeah.
So, it's I've seen it all
Yeah.
from the
But,
beginning.
so much like fundamentally changed there, in August 2023.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, we, Sylvia and I have been through some unbelievable wildfires here in California,
yeah,
but to see that happen there,
yeah.
it was just so devastating. Just everyone believes that it's just this, beautiful, pristine tropical paradise, blue water, the trade winds, and then just in the course of an afternoon, in the course of a day, it's just gone.
I got to tell you this that I don't only study the weather when I'm in the canoe, I study it while I'm on land. And
Mhm.
over the years, the receding of the shear line that I've seen happen on the west side of Maui has receded so far back past Kapalua, where it was a place that would rain every day, that would help our our ecosystem, has
Mhm.
receded so far back. And I've seen Lahaina, um, the dry grasses change to a red, to where the dirt became so powdery that it changed the color of the grass when you're looking from the ocean.
Mm.
These things that industrialization, the sugar cane that have um, changed the ecology of place has affected us. And this was just we let this happen.
Yeah, it's
We
true.
Uh,
let it happen. And is we have to thank God 12 years ago, there was a stream that was dry for 130 years in Lahaina. This stream was dry for 130 years because they diverted the water for the sugar mill to run the hydro plant, which created electricity for the mill and parts of the town.
mhm.
It was dry for 130 years. By the grace of God, we have a family property in that valley. And I got a call one day saying, Archie, you need to go fight for the water. And I said, oh, no, 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 I can't do that because, in my mind, I got to become an activist. I'm going to risk my family and everything that I have because you cannot do things, halfway. You have to be totally committed. And I said, no, I'm not interested. I don't want to fight for the water. And I hung up the phone. And my wife said, I heard that conversation. Why wouldn't you go fight for that water?
Wise woman.
And we did. A stream that was dry for 130 years. We fought for the water. We got the water back into the stream. And I cannot tell you the transformation that I've seen where the oopu, the hi'iwai, the opai, and uh I've seen the stream go from water that would run, that would disappear for 100 yards, come back up, and it was gray and hot. Then one day it was gray and cold, and then one day it was clear,
Huh.
cold, and one day I saw the first native fish.
Wow.
And you know what? The more I said, this is not about my family's land and Taro Patch. It's about this stream. We're just blessed to be able to use the water to water our taro, but it's about and our aquifer. It came back.
Yeah.
It filled up. These are all
Can
natural
recharge.
things.
Yeah.
But take it one step further. About 6 years after that, this old uncle came and said, Archie, the spawning fish came back. The brackish water. They need the brackish water.
Hmm.
And the spawning fish came back. But when I first fought for the opening up the river or the stream, I couldn't sleep because I was thinking, oh no, I'm gonna kill the reef. I couldn't sleep, and I got a hold of this marine biologist, Mark Dicos, and I said, Mark, I cannot sleep. Am I doing the right thing? And he said, Archie, it's when a stream doesn't run and there's a flood, you inundate the reef with sediment. But when a
Right.
river runs every day, it begins to take care of itself. And my God, sure enough, 10 years later, the Army Corps of Engineers wants to take down the barriers. They say it's going fine. We got spawning fish. We're actually doing a limo planting project um, um, at the end of this month, and not transplanting, but taking limo that was raised at UH from its infants, and we have the professors from UH are going to come. I'm going to meet with them, and that's the next phase, is we're going to start replanting the lemurs that were once abundant, that allowed our fishes to be healthy, that allowed our marine life to live in its natural eating environment.
Hmm.
Uh, but you need the brackish water. And so this journey wasn't just a one day, we got the water back thing. It's been a lifetime of learning, and I'm still learning every day.
Yeah. It's just
So,
when, oh, go ahead.
yeah, no, just bravo to Mark Dicus because he is a superstar and he's the
Yeah.
champion for the Oahu
Yes. Yep.
Hookup
Right.
spot.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
And he
Yeah.
had it in the heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just understanding and respecting nature,
Yeah.
working with nature, not constantly trying to.
Commandeer it.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly.
But
So
it's
Yep.
been but it's been so good to see just the acknowledgement that many of the invasive species that have been introduced, maybe it's to feed cattle, some of these grasses, or maybe they're ornamental
human,
shrubs and or things of this nature that are really not benefiting the natural systems. And then when you come along and with intention and
Hmm.
respect, and you start to restore those natural systems, you bring back the native plants, you bring back the native fish will follow and it's just kind of restoring these
quality of life.
quality of life, and it
Yeah.
and it does take care of itself.
One of the things that we have to do in Lahaina is in terms of we have to educate our kids about your place. Again, you can't protect what you don't know. And
Hmm.
Yeah.
when you know about your own place where you grew up and lived, about the true place, talking about generational knowledge that needs to be brought back and shared because they become um, the warriors for tomorrow.
Yes, they
And
do.
but if they don't know, how can they protect? And so we have to make every effort to get them involved with the limo planting, to get them involved with being aware that this stream needs to flow every day, to get them involved with the things that is important to our oceans, the things that are important to us living on an island, the succession of what that is. We feel the effects, climate change, all of the changes that have happened, the fire, we feel it first. We feel it first, we see it first. And so we have to be very mindful about our sail plan and the success of the sail plan moving forward.
Yeah. Do you want to run the little video? Should we do the video, Archie?
Sure.
What is this video?
We're gonna see. This is a trailer for a film that's coming up. Let's see if I can manage to share here.
About the fire
Yes.
Yeah.
and the recovery
And the recovery.
that is underway as we sit here, which is,
You ready?
I think so. Let's go.
It's amazing how quiet this is. It's kind of eerie. No words, yeah, no words.
When you think you're gonna come home, nobody can answer that. And if anybody can answer that, tell me the answer.
O na kualia kawiha na kia ka poi kalahi tiku e amazing.
Fire is completely extinguished. But in the Lahaina people's heart, still fire engulfing.
We've lost so many people in that fire, and 9 months later, we're still living with that.
Look through this ash, this burning, and that sun setting. It's kind of talking to us. It's telling us a story of this place.
We love Lahaina so much. Even if we sleep and we dream about Lahaina.
Lahaina is saying, go back to the way it was. Bring back the ulu groves, the coconut groves. Restore the low ease.
This is a rebirth. We got to figure it out. We as a people of Lahaina have to figure this out.
Where were you, Archie, when the fires took place?
Well, I wasn't home,
Mhm.
but when I look back now, I think it was meant to be that way because I probably wouldn't be alive because I would have gone and tried to save people.
Yeah.
But when I did come home, I remember when I woke up 3 o'clock in the morning and I saw the fire and I said, I got to get home.
Right.
Jumped on a plane and I wasn't able to get to Maui. So I flew to the big island. Max had picked me up. I said, Max, I need 2 generators. And I began to call because my involvement with surfing big waves and jet skis and starting pioneering all of that, I made the phone calls and got all of the jet ski guys and the boat guys together. And they said, Archie, we're waiting for you when you land. I landed and we went to Kalu Harbor and I said, okay, we're gonna head into Lahaina. And then I said, wait, let me call my friend from the police department. They said, Archie, we're gonna open the road for you. So I said, let's split the group in half. Half is gonna go to Ma'alaya, half is just gonna drive around from Kaului. So I took the other group. We went to Ma'alaya, and when I got there, it's total chaos.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody knew what to do. I lined everybody up, all the boats, said load up all the equipment on, starting with this boat and just keep working down the line. These jet skis are going to launch first. And we were the first into Lahaina. And I remember I made it a point to sit where nobody could see me in the boat. And right before we left, this lady came and said, "Can I jump on your boat? Um, I haven't heard from my mom.
Oh,
And
no.
she died in a fire." And I said, "You can get on this boat." And we were driving around right before when we came coming up towards Alualu into Lahaina, I moved to the back of the boat to where nobody could see me and I could see them. And right when we got into Lahaina, someone that has used that ocean and used landmarks to navigate my way from the water through that community, it was unrecognizable. And I remember looking at Lahaina Harbor, and there was two vessels that was on the reef, and the sail was burnt. All the coconut trees, the buildings behind it was burnt, and it was just rocking very slowly in the surf. And you could hear the stay lines that were broken hitting the hull and making this noise. And everybody started crying.
Yeah.
And I said, "Don't cry, Archie. Don't cry. You have to be strong." But I purposely stood behind everybody because I didn't want people to see me um, crying. I had tears down my eyes. The captain was crying and he turned to me and he said, "Archie, what do we do?" But the sight that I saw was like Time Life magazine, the black and white photo of Hiroshima. That's
Yeah.
exactly what it looked like.
Mm-hmm.
It was that's what I saw. And I said, "I'm going to stay here for 20 minutes. I didn't say why because I wanted to show that I was strong, trying to think of what we're going to do. I didn't know what to do. I was lost. But I said, we're just going to stay here for 20 minutes. And then the Coast Guard came and said, "You guys cannot go in. Uh, uh, this is a restricted area." And I just sat there and I sat there and I said, we can call the lifeguards. I called the lifeguards. They pulled up and their faces were all black. And I said, "Where's your mask?" I was once the chief of ocean safety for Maui.
Right. I mean,
"Where's your mask?"
yeah,
Thinking
what's it?
about their health.
Yeah.
And they said, "Archie, we've been working for 24 hours. They didn't give us anything. We've been out here 24 hours looking for bodies." And I said, "I need you guys' help. You guys got to take us in." And I remember um, through them, we got granted to go in. The Coast Guard let us in because of the lifeguards. And we unloaded what supplies we had on the boat and drove from the town to my house. I already knew my house didn't burn down, but I had gotten phone calls from the police chief, from the fire chief, from the fire captain that my house was gone. And then my kids saw a video of the helicopter and our house was there. I really
Wow.
didn't care if my house was burnt down. There's only
Yeah.
two things I cared about was my boat and my daughter's dog. Everything else I didn't care about. And our good family friends, as they were evacuating from the fire, the last place they evacuated from our house, our property, Hawaiian homes, is the shear line where when the wind blows very strong, it comes around West Maui Mountains from the south side and West Maui Mountains from the north side. And where those two winds meet is right on the fence property of my home. And
Hmm.
so it's a wind fence. And so the wind was blowing 70 miles an hour. It created this fence. And my fence burned down. My shed on the corner of my home burned down. But all of the homes in Hawaiian homes didn't burn down because it's the shear line
Mm-hmm. Right.
that but when the lifeguard truck came and picked us up and took us home and I saw mummies walking around. People were lost, confused, had no sense of direction. And I said, we're going to set up camp. We're going to set up. I served um, as an incident commander in my career as a ocean safety chief. Um, and so we set up incident command. We set up
Mhm.
a hub and we just started serving water. And then supplies, more supplies came, and the canoe family, Hōkūle'a, Hikianalia, I mean, they all came with supplies. And the crew members, we're used to this kind of environment. We're used to living that lifestyle. And little by little, we stood our community up. And I remember calling the mayor and I said, Mayor, what do you have in terms of, and he said, Archie, we have this, 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 this. And I said, negative. I'm going to tell you right now, we're in ground zero and this is what's really going on. And we, slowly our leaders arose in this community, set up hubs to help different parts of Lahaina. But one of the things was the environment.
Mhm.
And in the Hawaiian homes, we put up flags. Almost every home had a Hawaiian flag. And when I was interviewed, I said, those flags aren't there because we're trying to be sovereign. Those flags are there to tell us what direction the wind is blowing. When the wind
Right.
is blowing from north to south, we can come out of our house because nothing burned on the north side. But when that flag is blowing south to north, everybody stays in their house.
You know,
And
it's
these kinds of things and the things that I saw and the things that happened, and I gotta share this, is I met the president. I met Biden. 3 days later, a Secret Service agent shows up at my house. By this time, our hub was servicing over 1,000 people every day. And I see her sitting there, and we're jamming. We're we're just accomplishing everything we need to accomplish to keep our community somewhat safe and in touch and in tune. And I remember, go ask that lady what she wants. And she was a Secret Service agent. She said, oh, she wants to talk to me. And I said, not right now. 2 hours later, I look, she's still sitting in the same place. I said, go give her something to drink and ask her what she wants. She wants to talk to you. And I said, not right now. I told her that like 3 times. The fourth time, I said, okay, I can talk to you. And she said, Speaker Johnson, who was the Speaker of the House at the time, said that he's coming and he wants to talk to you. And I said, if he wants to talk to me, talk about how he's going to help these people,
Mhm.
not politics. I'm not here. I don't want to hear the Republicans blaming the Democrats blaming the Republicans. We need help. I never thought him. And then she said, that's him right now in a Black Hawk helicopter. And I said, if he wants to talk about how he wants to help us, I'll talk to him. And two conversations I would have every day. I would talk to my dad every morning, and my dad is did 3 tours in Vietnam, sole survivor of his second tour, and this thing that we were dealing with was like being in war.
Mhm.
Every morning I would call him, and we'd have a conversation about what's going on, but more importantly, he would ask me, "How you doing? How you holding up?"
That's key.
And
You got
I
to take
know
care of yourself.
he was reflecting about his war to make sure that I was in the right frame of mind. So I talked to him every morning, and then at night, I would talk to Nainoa every night. And the conversation Nainoa would have, him and I would have, is about the world and the things that are happening around the world, the things that we have to try and navigate through to make the world a better place. Those
Beautiful.
two conversations kept me going because there was a point where I never slept for 7 days and they forced me to go to bed because it was just go, 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 go. And those two conversations with my dad and Nainoa really, really helped me stay clear and focused on what we needed to do to help this community visualize the sail plan for Lahaina in its current situation and the sail plan for the future of Lahaina. Because if we can create the sail plan and this sail plan can be successful, we can create a sail plan for all of Hawaii, which in turn can create a sail plan for all of the Pacific, which in turn can create a sail plan maybe someday for all of the world.
On our little blue island in space. Absolutely.
Yep. Yep.
So how, I mean, here in California, we've seen time and time again, big wildfire happens. People that have lived there for generations are displaced and dislocated, and they are underinsured. They can't get insurance. They can't afford to rebuild, and they
Yep.
are just
Lost.
preyed upon by, or lost, and they're preyed upon by, these like development companies that just want to come in and buy the
Mhm.
property, right, and take it away. But what is happening there? How are people kind of combating that temptation or need, or how are they being helped to retain and rebuild?
There's a lot of good programs, I must say, because we're faced with the same issues here.
Hmm.
People, multi-generational landowners own their home for 3 generations, so they don't have a mortgage. So why do I get insurance, right? And this fire happens, they lose everything, and they have nowhere to go. And so there's been a lot of good programs whether it was from private funding, whether it was from federal funding that has helped these people rebuild their homes. They aren't the immaculate homes, but it's living within the means, and we've been able to keep a great percentage of our people home here in Lahaina. And so that's been really, really, really good to see. And I just wanted to share, like our organization, Lele Aloha, we've only accepted private funding. And I said, we're going to rebuild our churches. There's 14 churches in Lahaina.
Wow.
7 of the 14 churches burned down. Those 14 churches, we gave each of them $20,000 to start the rebuild or consider the rebuilding of their church. We started a Ha'ola Grant Awards program, which we've given over $380,000 at $5,000 increments to individuals that are going to rebuild their home, but they have to show us that they're rebuilding their home.
Mhm.
And then we have our Mauka to Makai program, which is our health and education program. And as we move into the future and recovery is something that people need to stand up on their own. We can only help for so long, but the long-term success is going to be in the health and education about our place. And so I think for the next 2 years will be our sail plan, our mission will stay the same, but our sail plan is being more geared towards that for the long-term success of us being able to help our community.
Excellent. We're starting to get kind of a stack of questions. So maybe we'll jump over and grab some of the questions as they're coming in. Mark is asking, do you think in the grand scheme of things that tourism is a net benefit or a net harm for Hawaii? And then take that same question to a global scale.
I think in this current situation, I don't think it's beneficial. But hear me out. Is it can be very beneficial um, if we don't overpopulate commercialization of the industry. And so right now, it is a big component uh, in how Hawaii gets its revenue. But I think is we really, really need to take a hard look at how we're doing it.
Mhm.
Uh,
The
and
delivery.
the delivery.
That's
And I think we
critical.
have to take that into consideration. And because I think there should be some kind of certification like there is at Galapagos,
Mhm.
that all of these commercial guys need to go through. And a portion of that has to include um, 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 because this is our home. It has to include, it's all of our homes, but the people that have been here the longest, people with knowledge of Hawaiian history, people with knowledge of place, the aupoas, and all the names that are associated to places, the Hawaiian winds, the names of the winds that's associated with our ocean, these all have to be incorporated into the industry so that we can change the mindset of how the industry is used. I'm not against the commercialization, but when I see is just take, 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 and not giving back, I question um, how it's being done.
Yeah, it's kind of the difference between having a very nourishing meal and then having a, a fast food sandwich, right?
100%. Exactly. Yep.
So
But there's so much that is so good.
yeah.
It can be
Yeah.
true education,
Yeah.
not
Exactly.
not in the least bit boring.
No.
I
Yeah.
mean, quite the contrary. The
Hmm.
reality is so exciting,
Yeah. Yes.
and
Yep.
to be able
We
to
have a
hear,
chance.
Yeah.
yeah, and of the natural wild creatures
Yeah.
who, despite all of the changes in the last 2 centuries or so,
Yep.
especially the last, 50 or 60 years,
Mhm.
the
Yep.
the truth is there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is there. Yep.
And there are people, well, you are certainly one who can convey the ethic, the reality that is something people should want to know.
Yes. Yep. Yep. And
Yeah.
that I think that's the spooky part is there's people that don't want to know.
Yeah. Well,
You
maybe
know, and
they,
and that's I think that's our struggle.
yeah.
The people who we are, the people of the sea, the people of the ocean, is we struggle with the non-believers or the I wouldn't even call it that. I would say the ignorance of not knowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't know what you don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So Sarah is asking, how can scientists like me contribute to the restoration of Lahaina and Maui, both on the land and the coral reefs?
Well, I'm going to tell you, uh, um, your knowledge as a scientist is really, really important, but there's a double side to that. And that is the historical knowledge or the indigenous knowledge.
Mhm.
When you combine those two and we find a way to complement the science and the indigenous knowledge, we
Right.
come out with great solutions on
Mhm.
how to move forward. And so I'm going to raise my hand is contact me through Lele Aloha, and I would love to sit down and talk with you about these places along our shoreline that we can begin to not only create study, but create a place where we can bring the place back to life.
Yeah.
And based off of the scientific knowledge and based off the indigenous historical knowledge.
I think it's critically important too to really think about, a wildfire today is not like a wildfire 50 or 100 years ago. We've
Right.
got cars, we have
Yep.
batteries, we have
Yep.
flame retardant, we have
Yep.
household chemicals, we have all this stuff that is in
Yep.
the ash, it's in the soil. When the heavy rains
In
come,
your lungs.
it's in our lungs, plastics, but it's coming, it's to your point, Archie, about the natural restored stream. We now have these pulses of stormwater going out onto the reef that are just full
Yep.
of
Yep. Yep.
contamination. And we've got to get a grip on what that's doing and how do the reefs recover, or how long will it take for them to recover? Can they?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
where
And
we
I
really need
really,
science.
really would, because that's where, when we talk about rebuilding our community, it's about not just what we see above the water,
Hmm.
but for the long-term succession of this place. It's even more important for us to understand how healthy that environment is
Yes.
below
Yeah.
below the water.
It's
Below the
human
water.
system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't, when you throw stuff in the ocean, it doesn't go away.
There is
Doesn't
no
go.
way.
Yeah.
There's no way.
But
And so I really want to and our limus is allows us to get a pulse on that because the once abundant limus that was in Lahaina are no longer there.
Hmm.
Just as much as how beautiful and how luscious Lahaina once was, it's no longer there. And so not only are we seeing the effects on land, but we're seeing the effects in the ocean.
Yeah. Yep. They certainly are.
It was encouraging to see the banyan tree beginning to,
Rebud.
yeah, whether it will ultimately survive, I guess we have to wait. But it seems that it's trying to live.
It's kind of a
Yeah.
resilient beast.
Really a symbol of hope.
Okay,
Well,
Mark.
I tell you this is I've seen it firsthand. Every river and every stream that runs, the earth is a living, breathing thing.
Yes.
Pulses. And every time we cut off a stream and divert the water, and it's not in its natural vein of the earth, we're killing a part of that earth.
Yeah.
And that's what's happened to Lahaina. By the diversion of all the waters, the natural veins of the earth have gone dry and has killed the place.
Yeah.
And it's and I've seen it come back. And so I know that that's what we have to do to get this place back in its most healthiest ecological, environmental health um, as possible. That's what it's going to take.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to try to get through the rest of the questions.
Okay. Sorry.
Let's see. Mark is asking, are the locals getting to give input under the rebuilding of Lahaina to their satisfaction, or is the tourism industry calling most of the shots?
Well, I think we're at a crossroads right now, and a lot of local people are tired of falling on deaf ears. We've been falling on deaf ears for over 100 years.
Yeah.
And, I don't think there's enough input, especially as we move into the commercial areas, meaning Front Street.
No, yes. Yeah.
There needs to be more input that comes from the community in terms of how do we rebuild Lahaina in that commercialized area. Don't think about your dollar and how you gonna benefit commercially. Think about the place and the people that make the place what it is. Put that
Mhm.
first and foremost, and you'll come up with the best answers for this place.
Yeah, I agree. It's got to be about, community action and sustainability and then, how to really give people a reason they want to come and come away with something that's enduring.
I want to say this is Lahaina, from it being the capital of the Hawaiian Kingdom to the fire that happened in recent time. We have so much history
Hmm.
Yes.
that has happened to this one place. We need to build a museum. We need to build a museum so that we can share the history of Lahaina from the beginning of time. So and that can help change the industry, the commercialization, where it be more educational. And when people walk out of that building and go back to their hotel, they won't take 3 showers. They'll
Yeah.
think about, all of these things because they've learned so much about a place. And I'm really, really pushing for a museum that just like the Bishop Museum, and we need to build one here. And that's
Yeah.
going to take a lot of people, a lot of help, because we have so much from our oceans, from our mountains, from our land, to the devastation of a people, to the industrialization, the westernization, the indigenousness of this place. We have so much to share because so much has happened. We need a museum.
That would be great.
Story. It's a place to tell the story.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Many
Exactly.
stories.
Many stories.
Yep.
Okay. Heather is asking, how are the whales this year in Maui? Did they have a good homecoming and have there been any hammerhead sharks?
Oh, I'll tell you, it's been an amazing year in terms of the whales. We've had a lot of activity. We've um, from birthings to breachings, um, uh, to calvings to looking for a new partner. I mean, I cannot tell you. Just yesterday, almost every day, the amount of activity is it's we're in a good healthy place right now. But that only makes me sometimes think is, well, where did they come from? Is that an healthy environment? Are they, but right now I would say that it's a healthy place.
That's
Maui,
good.
in my backyard, our surrounding ocean, I've seen a lot of beauty in terms of whale visiting us.
That's excellent. That's a good cause for hope.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yep.
So Patricia, says she's so sorry about the fires and wants to know if there's been any support from the government to help rebuild, and if there was any specific wildlife, birds or mammals that were more severely impacted from the fires than others.
It's the government has been amazing. I will say that from FEMA to state. People can say what they want, but I was there from the very beginning, and the support that they brought on board to a point where FEMA has adopted um, uh, indigenous knowledge into each fire moving forward, and having someone with that kind of knowledge be part of the team. Maui has opened up their eyes, and so um, and then our governor, I mean, really everybody and every organization from government has done what they could do to the fullest of their capabilities. I will say that firsthand.
That's
So
good.
yeah.
That's very good. Martin is asking, how can Lahaina's seven generation plan best be adjusted for other islands in the Pacific?
Well, we have to believe in the plan, first of all, and we have to execute the plan. So, by us executing the plan, and it's going to take all of Hawaii supporting that sail plan. But Maui, Lahaina is the easiest. Why? Because we have a blank sheet of paper. And
Yeah.
so we can write that sail plan and the success of that sail plan. But how we load that canoe, I'm holding my 6 month child, 6 month old child, and I have to contribute to this sail plan because my baby's going to go, but I'm not.
Mm.
So my contribution to the sail plan is the success of that child. So I have to think really hard because I'm not going. This canoe has to make it to the destination. Think long and hard about my contributions to that sail plan and
Hmm.
the success of that canoe reaching its destination. And so, to answer his question, is everyone has to contribute, but everyone has to believe in not the selfishness of themselves, but the results that we need for the next 7 generations.
But in the past, Archie, our way of looking at nature, nature is free for anyone to convert to whatever
Money.
other purpose that we won't
Mhm.
wish to choose without thinking that we have to pay. It's all free.
Yep.
And yet, I think every parent, maybe not every parent, but there's
Most.
there's a general conception that you want the world to be at least as good for your children as
Mhm.
it has been for you.
That's right.
And we're at a point now where the conversion of nature for human purposes has reached a point
Yep.
where we have to rethink how do we go forward.
Hmm.
Yep.
And to your
Yep.
point, whether it's 7 generations or just right now, how do we keep one generation, the ones right in front of us, the children of today, have at least a world as complete as what we have experienced. It's time to give
Yep.
back.
Yep.
It's time to hold steady a planet that is clearly,
Yep.
I mean, you see it in sharp focus in Lahaina,
Hmm.
but the decline of nature everywhere and the ocean everywhere is because of how we have treated our
Yeah.
relationship with nature. This, what you're saying, really is an opportunity
Mhm.
for people to wake up and say, how do we restore
Yeah.
better? How do we
And
take today and make tomorrow.
That takes us right into our very last question from Sarah, who says, besides not listening to the community, what are the barriers to restoring the natural habitats of Lahaina?
Good
Well,
question.
I think the barriers are ourselves. The barriers are ourselves is saying, I don't have the time today. Make the time. Make the time, get involved. And I'll say this. Right after the fire, our community was torn apart. We were fighting with each other. Our community social media was so dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
It was so dangerous to us in this place. And only now, like when I talk to the leaders in the community, we're all doing what we're supposed to be doing. In the end, all of our canoes are going to come together and we're going to head to that one destination. And so, just get involved in things that are happening in your community. It doesn't matter where you are, but for Lahaina, anything that you feel and trust trust your inner being that this is the right thing, this is a good thing. Those are the kinds of things that you want to be involved with. When you have that little bird that's on your shoulder and says, I shouldn't be doing this. Listen to that bird because you shouldn't be doing that. And follow that. And that's your guide.
Choose the right thing to do.
Choose the right thing to do.
Absolutely. Well, we are a little past the top of the hour. I just really want to thank you again, Archie. You've just been such a star in sharing all of your experience and knowledge with us today. And thank you to Ocean Elders, our producers, and to everyone out there in the diving community who keeps showing up for the conversations with us. We're so grateful to every single one of you. Water does connect us all.
Water does. We're connected by ocean, divided by land. But I wanted to say this is the Ocean Elders. I've been very familiar with all of you. Gigi has taken very good care of me when we sailed into New York. But Sylvia, I mean, you guys are the leaders that has given us the path forward. And so I just wanted to thank you guys so much for being the people that you are that has helped us become the people we are today, the next generation. And so we have to help the next 7 generations to guide them down that right path. And so I just wanted to express my love and aloha and mahalo, you guys, and thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much, Archie. It's just been such an honor. And we
Thank
can't
you.
wait to see all of your good works come to fruition there. And we'll help however we can.
Thank you. Thank you guys very, very much.
I'm in.
And
Thank you, Sylvia.
before we go, we will be back later this month. And remember, take care of the ocean.
As if
That's right.
life depends on it, because
It
it
does.
does.
Yep.
It does.
Take care of our oceans.
Yep. All right.
Okay.
Bye for now.
Aloha, everybody.
Aloha.